Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to my talk. It will be about logistics in OCA. I'm Jacques-Etienne Baudoux. I'm an architect and solution designer, and I've done many logistic projects in logistics in Europe mainly since quite some years. I'm of course an OCA contributor, and since a year, I think, now I'm a PSE representative of the logistics repository, which was before managed by Denis Roussel, who is here. Okay, like this. Yeah. That's for you. And yeah, I think it's good to go around everything that is available. I don't know everything, of course, that we have in logistics. It's a very broad stack that is available in the OCA, and we have many contributors. I think it's also a stack that is very mature, where we have invested a lot of R&D and design to make something well structured and that is sustainable over the years and the different projects and solutions that we face. So where to start? First, it's all in Github. So let's switch to Github. Like this. If you go to the logistics repository, you will find this README, and this is the best place to start. This README explains you what are all the repositories that exist regarding logistics, and you find this README in all the repository. So if you are looking for modules, if you contribute, because this is all about contribution also, and you want to develop a new solution, first look where is the best suited, look what is already available, and then if this is complementary or if it's a new thing that is interesting for the community, put it in the right repository. I'm sure that it's been quite annoying the last year with a lot of developers, because in the past it was not organized with many repositories. We had a few repositories with plenty of modules, and I think it was very complicated to understand the structure, what module is what. So with this new structure, I think it's a lot cleaner for the future. Yeah, so also if this is the situation in V18, so if you look for module in the past, it will not be structured like that. The module could be placed at different repository, but that you can always search in the shop, and you should find a link to each version of the module. Also, when you search for module, not everything is available in the last version. You also need to look in other version. Also look in open PR. Sometimes things are there and valuable things are there that are not yet merged. That is for the global picture. So let's get a tour about everything that is there in the different repositories. So I will try to follow this list more or less in the same order, same sequence. Delivery carrier. There you will find typically all modules to integrate with the API of the different transporter, and everything around the concept of delivering something. It's also linked to sales, like this module where you can automatically refresh the delivery on your sale order. There is a module also that's more in sales, but about automatically assign a carrier when you confirm a sale order or when you create a sale order. I know it's a bit aside from logistics, but this is important because you will need your career when you start confirming your sale order and doing your logistic steps. And then yeah, I think you have also some modules about managing at the end of your packing. What are the package you create? What are if you want to manage some number of parcels? So this you can have a look there. I will not go too deep in this repository. I also listed product attribute. Why? Because I think properly manage your product is essential for every operation you do in logistics. Yeah.
Make it bigger, like this. Control plus. Yeah,
Like this or even more?
one, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. So product attribute, I think what is interesting in logistics, maybe if I pick one out of them, it's about categorizing your packaging. There is a module about packaging levels. I just installed a V18 instance standard Odoo with the module, with some of the module we have in the OCA, nothing special. So let's take a product. Whatever product. So you know on your inventory you have your packagings. And you can define different packaging. What is interesting with the packaging level is that you can categorize your packaging. I created typically the 3 packaging levels. It's a concept defined by GS1, where you have the consumer unit, the transport unit. It's typically the box that you move, and the pallet, which is for truck transportation, the 3rd level. In standard Odoo, when you create your packagings, you're always free to put the name of all those packagings. And with the level, you can choose how the names is automatically computed. This allows to have a structure across all the product. So if we talk about a box, if we talk about a pallet, it's always a known concept, whatever the product is. And this is also interesting when you make your sales or purchase, then you know if you exchange some box or pallets. Especially if you purchase, you're interested to purchase typically pallet, if you can run the quantity to pallet. And this is on top of the package type. So the package type is a new concept that has been introduced by Odoo. That is mainly for managing putaways. We can talk about that later. So I'll just look at the time at the same. Availability. So this is all about what you will what is the quantity you have in your stock that you want to advertise as available to your customer. So usually you don't want to take the full quantity you have in stock and promise that on your sale order. If I give you a very basic example, if you have some quality control location, you don't want to have those products in those locations advertised as available in your e-commerce or when you place manually a sale order. Same maybe if you have some input locations, so the parkings where you put the goods that you received. Sometimes you don't want to advertise yet those locations as already available. You want to wait that the product is received and put in your stock. So with those modules, which are I think used a lot by the community. You can solve those issues, and then you can this way also explicitly exclude some location with this module. Yeah. Barcode. I think in 18 there are not much module, but if you look in the other version, probably 16, you will find more module. One important module is about managing multiple barcodes. So it happens that one product doesn't have a unique barcode. So in Odoo standard, you can only manage a single barcode. And you have the same issue with packaging. So you have the barcode on the product itself, but you can also have a different barcode on the box. And when you have products manufactured in different countries or coming from different producer, then you could have different barcode that you still need to manage when you receive the product or when you move the product in your warehouse. So this is very interesting for such situations. And then you will have all module about generating labels, generating the barcode for your product. Just have a look at those modules if you need them. Not specifically used to those barcode generator, but in 16 you find quite some modules about that. Interface. It's more technical. It's about integration with some specific device. So we will find integration with Cardex. Cardex is a vertical lift, so it's like you find in some vertical warehouse where you put the product on a tray, and the tray is going in a machine and then moving. And so this is a specific kind of machine. There are different brands. But this one has an integration with Odoo. We have also layers to integrate with some measuring device. So if it's important for you to know what is the dimension of your product, there exists machine where you can place your product and the machine is measuring all the dimension. So there is a module, I think it's in a pull request that integrates with ZipCube machine, but this module is there as a base for integrating with any kind of device. Yeah, so if you're looking for such integration, that's the place. So order point, that's of course an important topic for replenishment, for purchase. So the order point is a concept standard in Odoo. You can create on a product a min-max rule. I'm sure this is something you know. Let's go here, for example. So by default, when you create an order point, Odoo place it on this stock location. But usually what you have in your stock, it's the stock that is available for picking. And you also have stock in the reserve, in different location in the warehouse. You can create the structure of location that you want. And usually it means that you have stock at several places in your warehouse, and you're happy to create an order point on the complete warehouse, especially for purchase, because you want to consider all your stock to compute what is on hand and what is the quantity to order. So for this, you have this module order point default location that allows to configure on the warehouse what is the default location that's used for those min-max rules. Order point no horizon. So if you place a need in the future, so for example, you place a sale order, and this sale order is planned for the future. Then we have an issue in Odoo is that this need is not taken into account in the forecasted quantity for now, and the order point is based on the need for now, meaning that it will not create a replenishment, a purchase for that quantity. So we can get rid of this behavior and get rid of the limit of horizon and just look at all the needs you have in the future and just generate replenishment for those quantities. What else? MTO as MTS. So MTO principle is that in Odoo, when you have a need, so for example, you place again a sale order, then you have an MTO route that will place all the steps up to purchasing the product and receiving then the product in your warehouse and then shipping that to your customer. This is of course working, otherwise it, yeah. But the drawback of this is that as it's going through a route, all the chain of operation between the sales and the purchase is very bound to how you configure your route. Meaning that if you decide a 3-step in the route from the sales to the purchase, then you have always to respect those 3 steps. And you have also to respect that the fact that the goods that arrives at reception is dedicated for the sale order. Meaning that you could not favor some customer. This sometimes happens that you place multiple sales for an MTO product, and then sometimes you want to favor the last customer that placed the order, but you already purchased the product for another customer and you want to bypass some other customer. This is very complicated in Odoo, so because all the chain of operation are really strongly bound together. Also, if you don't receive the product or if the product is damaged, it gets complicated because this is also bound to the sale order. And yeah, usually I never work this way because I find that very inconvenient, that my sales is really too much bound to my purchase. What I want in an MTO flow, it's still purchase when I sell something, but I want to purchase the quantity that I need and replenish when I need, like the order point is working in standard Odoo. So with and one other issue you have also with the route system is that when you receive the goods, you cannot place it where you want in the warehouse. You cannot freely move in the warehouse because all the steps are defined by the route. So if you get rid of this mechanism and just use the standard order point of Odoo, then you receive the goods is put in stock like any min-max rule, and then you can ship it to the customer and you are free to do whatever you want with the product. If this is damaged, it will repurchase, and this is a lot easier to manage. So what is this module doing? Basically, when you flag a product as MTO, instead of relying on this route, it will just create an order point, and you end up with a min-max of 0 quantity. And then this is like any make-to-stock product on an order point. So this is what this module is doing. Then location order point, also very interesting. So if I go back here to my Odoo instance, you know that so you define your order point in Odoo per product. It's sometimes very cumbersome and very heavy to create one order point for each product. So with the location order point, you can create one order point for location that is global for all the product. think I have installed location order point. This is what you get by standard. So you define the location that you want to monitor. It could be different location because it could be typically for replenishment. So for example, I have my stock location and I have my overstock, and I want to replenish my stock when it's going down a level from my overstock. And I don't want to create an order point for all the product I can have in my stock. I just want to create one rule for this location. Sorry. And this is what this module allows you to do. You define the rule. You define what is the replenishment method. By default, it's fill up. So it's if you are under, if you have a negative forecast stock, it will replenish. You have different method that is available, which is based on an average daily sales. In fact, it's based on average consumption in your stock. There is a report providing this information, and basically it's making a computation of the average plus the variance on how much the product is moving across a specific window, and this window is also configurable. And then based on that, it's computing what Good. Logistic request, yeah, it allows you to create a need on a specific location. I think I've not looked deeply in this repository, but I think it could be interesting in manufacturing where you have different places where people work and they can express that there is a need. That would be one example I would imagine. I'm sure there are different examples also, maybe related to purchase. I don't know if you use that this way. Reservation. So reservation. I start with a reserve rule. So in your stock, again, you can have multiple locations, and then when you place picking, so you create the picking, you confirm the picking, you want to structure the way that Odoo will choose the location where it will reserve the goods. And typically, if I have pallet, I have box, I have open box, maybe I have this at different location, I want to reserve based on the quantity that I need. If I need a pallet, I want to reserve a location where I have the full quantity if possible. I don't want to start taking the last piece from an open box and then consume some box and then open again a pallet. I want to go there if I can take a pallet. If I need some box, again I want to go where I have the box. If I need some pieces, I want to go there where I have the piece. It's always the same product. So in Odoo you just have a picking with a move and a quantity, and then the reservation rule allows you to express this rule. So for example, let's say quickly on stock, I have a pick operation, and then you can give a rule. Let's say on pallet storage, I want to empty the bin. So I go there only if I take the full location. And then you can create another location. Where is my, I don't know what we have in standard. Let's say we have a shelf location, and there I only want, for example, a full packaging where my packaging is my transport unit. You see back this concept of packaging level, where you can say that any product at this level is considered as a transport unit. I go quickly because we have a lot of things to go.
10 minutes.
Yeah. Stock available to promise release. This is a module that we use a lot in our project. When you place a sale order, quit. This way then. Okay. It's not to do, it's my laptop. Let's create a sale order for just a demo product. I will duplicate this one. Okay, I confirm my product, just a product, one quantity. So the key concept of this stock available to promise release is about virtual reservation. So the issue we have in Odoo is they have tried to improve that in recent version, but I think it's still not at all alike. That what this module is doing is that when you have your pick, the pick is reserving the quant on the location it finds. And then when it's reserved, it's getting very hard to move that piece. And if you have a sale order coming from an e-shop or you place it manually, you don't want to lock your goods at that moment. You want to completely decorate your sales from your stock. And imagine you have thousands of sale orders, and then everything gets locked in your stock, and you're forced to do the operation dictated by the sales. So here what we do is that we allocate virtually what is available in the stock to the orders to the sales orders. Could be also coming from manufacturing or whatever the need is coming from, but mainly today it's based on sales order. The main principle is that the first person that order will be the first that is served, which is very important concept. It's not really always respected in Odoo. So you have a need, you have a demand, you allocate a quantity to that demand. You have a second need, you allocate until all your available stock is exhausted, and then you cannot allocate it. So here I confirm an order. I have no stock available for this product, so you can see here nothing is ready. So the key concept is that my sale order is just placing a delivery and nothing more. And my delivery creates the need in the warehouse, so I can still run my procurement, my purchase, my manufacturing if I need to produce things. And then you are free to decide when you will place the internal operation in the warehouse, and you will physically book the stock. And this you do by just releasing the operation. So let's put some stock to illustrate quickly this. Okay, so now I have one move that is ready. You have a view of the move allocation. There is a view that allows you to view all the transfer or all the view across all the demands and to see how things are allocated. I don't go into the detail with the time, the short time we have, just to give you some teasing, and then you can release, and when you release, this will create the operation in the warehouse according to the route. And the advantage also is that the route can be decided at the time of when you release, which is very important because the stock is moving. Maybe when you sold, you have a pallet, but later you have only a box, or the stock is always changing according to the work you do in the warehouse. So when you release, it's looking at what is my stock. You remember the reservation rule. It's looking at what is the best quant suited for picking this order, and then it's placing the right picking operation, choosing maybe the right carrier, because now in Odoo you can have route by carrier. And so if it's looking that, okay, maybe this is a small order, you can ship it by the post according to what you have available, then it will switch to this carrier, and it will apply the route of this carrier. Because this is also important, is that depending on the carrier, you typically have different steps. For example, if I need to prepare a parcel, you will pick, and maybe I will just put in the box and put the label. That's my pack operation, but it's pack and shipping at the same time. If I need to prepare a pallet, I need to pick, I need to go to a location where I prepare my pallet, and then I need to move that to location where the ship will come, and I will load the truck. So it's all kind of different steps. And yeah, this is why it's important in our different projects to do this release of operation at the latest possible. I quickly go back to the release channel. So once you have decided you want to declarate yourself from your stock and you just want to keep those deliveries and you have to release them, of course you need some organization to decide when you want to release and what you want to release. So this is exactly the purpose of this release channel. It's kind of cockpit to manage your warehouse, manage the work, how you distribute the work to the person in the warehouse. And usually you will create different cards to control the work, and the cards could be based on how you structure your warehouse, but most of the time it will be based to the carrier and the way you transport the goods to the customer. So for example, if you have a fleet of 10 vehicles, you will create one card, or if you have 10 zones that you cover in your country, you create the 10 zone, and then you can manage the 10 zone. You know what you promise to the customer. You also have to manage the dates. This is something won't talk much about it, but it's very important. What is the date you promise when you place an order? And then this allows you to classify everything that needs to be released in those different cards and to organize the way that you dispatch the work. Could be manual, could be automatic. You can give some rules. So typically the cards, if you go in the configuration, you have plenty of options available on what order needs to reach which card. And that's very important for the strategy in the warehouse and how you prepare the goods according to your customer and according to the holidays, about the where they are located, and what are your carriers and when they are coming. Shop floor is a brilliant application for managing operation physically in the warehouse. So it's an application where you can configure different profile, you can configure the menu, and then with this operation you can, for example, create some pick operation. You can make some cluster picking where you can group multiple transfer together and work on multiple transfers. So the barcode application now exists also in enterprise. This was existing before Odoo, and it's continuing this way. It's a bit different from what you have in Odoo Enterprise. I think it's the main difference is that this application forces the user to follow each of the steps. So you have plenty of scenarios that you can choose based on the situation. Could be reception, could be a packing, could be moving a pallet, could be moving some products. And the idea is that the guy needs to follow what is dictated on the screen, and you have no freedom. And the freedom is given by what the scenario allows the person to do, and you cannot start scanning whatever you want and create a crazy operation in your stock. Tracking about some quant. Yeah. Still have 3 minutes here. Transport, about all the management of the truck. So you will have the shipment advice there, which allows you to manage your incoming and outgoing trucks. So yeah, you can do reception based on that also. I had a talk 2 years ago about this. You can check it also. Warehouse, mainly about enhancing the view, some fields, and then workflow to finalize with the time I've left. Of course, very important. Plenty of small modules, module to split picking, module to create the batch. Also very important to group operation in one batch so that one person is working on multiple picking at the same time, and you can then control how you group the transfer in one batch. So the concept exists in Odoo, but what you don't have in Odoo is how you select the right pickings based on the weight, based on the packaging, based on different conditions. And yeah, one thing also interesting is the dynamic routing. This is very advanced also. This allows you to place the right operation. So normally in standard Odoo you have the route that dictate what are the steps and what is the operation type that you place. With the dynamic routing, after placing this, based on where you reserve the stock, so you remember those reservation rule allows you to choose where you reserve the stock, you can switch the operation type that will be used. So for example, if I reserve the pallet, I want a pick pallet. If I reserve a box, I want a pick box. And then you can give the pick pallet to the guy with the forklift, and you can give the pick box with the guy that is working in the warehouse. A simple example. And then
out of time.
I'm at the end. That was a sprint.
Maybe we have 1 minute for question.
Oh, we have a quarter, they said.
Remember that we discussed about the reservation.
Sure, yeah. Not only, but that one also, yeah.
The release, let's say, and the reservation. Did you consider at any point the point that we mentioned on reserving manufacturing orders, that we should always be considered not only delivery orders, but also considering other sources of demand? Have you worked on that topic, or?
We have not integrated that, but the move that we have done is that before it was a big SQL query doing all the resolution, and we got rid of that query, and now it's calling some function, so it's a lot more hookable and possible to improve, to integrate that. So for example, it's based now on the available stock module that provides you what is available in your stock, and if you hook to that to create some demand based on your manufacturing, that would help integrate it. Yeah.
No. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just wanted to know if there is a documentation about the shop floor app somewhere.
I don't think there is a documentation.
Okay.
Or we have something on the repository?
Because I looked at the README. It's very brief, so I was wondering if there was a more detailed documentation, but.
It's in progress.
Okay.
No, currently we don't have more than this. And then look at the scenario. There are plenty of options on the scenario. I think it's probably lacking a bit of what is the scenario exactly doing. But the thing also is that you have plenty of customization inside the scenario available about do I execute something that is planned, or do I just go to location, scan the location, and generate the work out of scanning the location? And also, can I steal some reservation by doing this operation or not? And I think there are not much scenario, so typically what you will find it's location content transfer. You scan a location, you take everything from that source location, and then you spread the content to different destination location. It's like a reverse picking. Single pack transfer, you scan a pack, you take the pack from the source to the destination. There is a equivalent, not in shop floor, but shop floor single product transfer, same thing. You scan the product, you move the product to the destination. Then you have the picking, two types of picking, cluster picking, where you create a batch. You can work on one picking or multiple picking in parallel. And the zone picking, there you work per line. So you don't care about the picking, you just care about the fact that you need to move things. And you get, so you tell the system in which zone you are. So you get a list of the zone, and then when you have chosen your zone, you see all the type of operation and everything that you need to move by line. Checkout, it's for packing, so creating a parcel or creating a pallet. Delivery, it's for just moving your parcel or your pallet to the outgoing location ready for load trucking, or even doing the load truck itself.
Okay.
And that's it.
Want to continue conversation after with Jacques-Etienne, is possible. Thank you, Jacques-Etienne.